So what's up? How we doing today? We're going to take a look at some improv tactics by Jerry on the other one. This has been a heavily requested song. I just put the track out, and here is my follow-up lesson for it. And I'm going to have one for Bob coming out soon as well. So we're going to lay down some foundation by just looking at the song part of it first, which is pretty easy. The kind of verse chorus part, and this is just this long monster jam. We're going to lay some groundwork with that, and we're going to look at some elements of kind of changing things up and then moving further away as we go along, taking it further out just like they would do, and especially Jerry in this particular jam. So let's check out the song section first, give it a listen, and then we'll see what's going on. So we get this, the main groove, during the verse part of the thing, going, just revolving around an E. A lot of it's like power chords, but sometimes Bob's playing the full major E and D, and Jerry's just usually playing this little riff going. And sometimes it plays a power chord in that D too. And of course, things are always different. There's always different little variations, different versions. So this is just the overall general guide. You know what he's doing, and that'll be it for the main groove. The verse part, and then the chorus part. You're just kind of doing that same thing. And sometimes they'll take it up here, take it up an octave, and going. And then during the chord part that goes down, descending. That's just going E, D, C, A, G, and then it does it again, E, D, C, A, G, D, real quick. And so he's getting going, bring it up an octave, and then we've got, he does it down an octave there, and then does that G, D. So just kind of playing, like the bass notes, really just playing on there. So typically, again, always would be a little different. And actually, I flubbed it up in my example there, but that's the example. That's the gist of it. And that's it. I don't want to hang on that too long. Let's move on to the main thing. We want to first get the foundation for a lot of jams, but this one in particular, it is the rhythm. And better than I can say myself, I'm going to have the drummer that I now play with for these tracks explain it. He's Italian, so he's got a great Italian accent, and he's going to go over just the drum part there. And you may be thinking, I don't need to know the drums. Just give it a listen. He's going to play some examples, laying down the main groove. He's going to play some variations, and then he's going to show you just the gist of it all on a djembe. And just really listen and internalize the rhythm as he's playing. And then we're going to show you how we can apply it to our guitar playing. And this is the real place we want to start first.
Hi guys, I'm Silvio Centamore. And I'm from Italy, and I wanna to teach you how to play the other one. In this tune, we can find one main groove with so many variations. First of all, take listen to this main groove. And now I'll try to show you some variations. type of triplet grooves are based on African music. Now I'll play some of these figures with the djembe. When I play this type of groove, I'm thinking from the djembe, and in my mind, I'm thinking like a percussionist.
So the thing is, you probably thought I was gonna just get into like all these crazy scales of what's going on. Oh, he takes it way out there. The more and more I learn, the more and more I realize you don't really need crazy scales. I don't even want to even get into what key this is in for now. We're going to get into that a little bit later and some scale choices, no choices, but really I feel like it's like a disease. A lot of players are just obsessed with the notes in terms of the pitch and stuff. So we want to focus on this rhythm. So now we've gotten another person's perspective, and what better than, of course, a drummer. This is such a drum heavy song. Let's see how can it apply, really drilling in this underlying rhythm that he's talking about, that triplet feel, that 1 2 3 1 2 3. And let's just hear an example. Drilled it in, no matter what you're doing, you got that. And of course, you don't want to just do this non-stop, but you want to get that under your fingers. So taking a spot wherever you are and get used to doing that, just up and down, just playing, you know. As an exercise, you can just go continuous. When you're actually playing, you want to vary it up, but just like this, just really get that in your fingers, because no matter what you do, you learn all these crazy notes, techniques. If you can't get this feel going, it's just not gonna be be working. So that's my number one thing here is learn the song first, of course, but then really when it comes to improv tactic and jamming, get that feel going. So let's listen to the second example, see what's going on there, and then we'll start to figure out what kind of key this is in, what scales. We will get to that. But I want to stress that that's not the most important thing. So let's give it a listen to this one. So this was, I forget what version this was. Might have been something from 70 that I really liked. And Jerry was just doing this big bend here. Right after the first chorus, just going into that jam. And that, I think, is a good thing you can learn a lot from. It's a simple bend. I mean, just really getting that bend just right, is a little harder than it seems. But the idea is contrast. So if you're hitting up that rhythm, we were just talking about, a lot, you can't do that forever. We need some contrast. And that's what a great way then to slow the rhythm down, and you're not even playing this rhythm, you're just playing these bends and just hitting that note, bending it real slow. So think of other ways you can add some contrast too, because one of the things that made Jerry so great is he wasn't just doing the same exact thing all the time. He had his distinct sound and things he would do regularly and recycle, but he varied it up and would add contrasting elements that would keep it interesting to listen to and jam for long periods of time. So let's listen to the next example and see what's going on there. So now before we dive into what exactly you think I'm doing there, what I'm focusing on, let's look at the key. If you're just jamming on an E to D, and as it gets going kind of more and more, it kind of just revolves more and more around that E. And again, sometimes they're playing a major, sometimes it's just more of like a power chord. As it gets going, sometimes it gets even to just an E minor sound. To me, it really sounds like E Dorian. And I'm not going to go into big explanation if you don't know what that means, but it's basically an E minor scale. And if we just stick to this one spot for all these examples now, we can make it a little easier. Just that 12th fret. So that little, if you put a pentatonic like that, minor pentatonic. If you played an E minor scale, you have a flat 6. This just has a major 6, which I prefer usually here to play it here. And it's just a little bit sweeter of a sound, you know, and some people may argue, this is E minor, this is not E Dorian. I don't know. It doesn't really matter that much. As, you know, they jam out, they would morph in different ways, and they're not always playing exactly one scale together. That's the beauty of it, you know. You get some dissonance, some things clashing and things kind of pulling one direction and then another. So, yeah, again, I hear it as E Dorian is just revolving around that E, D, and then you may be thinking, wait, if they're playing E major, though, how could that be? Again, things don't always have to match up perfectly. A lot of times when you're playing over a major chord, something like Dorian works well, especially in a blues kind of thing. So that's the scale we're using, E Dorian. Or we're going to focus on it for now. So what was I doing there? I was playing in a very angular way, and it's a way of playing very out, making it sound out while playing the scale is like kind of the scale choice I think that fits in there perfectly. So it's nothing exotic, but it makes it sound weird when you don't play straight up and down the scale, but you jump around, things like that. And I'm not going to write out some pattern. I just want you to try out anything. Just don't go straight down, but jump any random way. That's a little maybe too much, but you know, just taking even like a little spot though. You don't have to, you know, a way to practice it is maybe do that at first, kind of like the rhythm thing. Do it extreme, but then when you're actually playing, you might just take a little part like, and then you kind of get back into a more straight up and down pattern. So you kind of weave these things in. So first, if it's new to you, just experiment with that. Really get used to that. You got to kind of get it in your ears and get it under your fingers. And sometimes you have to do these finger rolls like this, where you don't just start here, because then you can't really move over, but you got to start flat and roll over. And then once you get comfortable, start weaving it in to different lines and licks you're playing. But let's check out one more, and then I got an extra little thing about different little scale choices we can use to mix up our approach as well. But let's listen to this next one and see what's going on and see if you can guess what I'm focusing on. This one, now we are playing outside, and all it is this one note right here, the flat 5, the blue note, which I used to think, you know, when I was starting out, the blue note was just, I would do a lot of blues, you know, I was like, oh, it's just for blues. It can be for anything. Actually, you know, I used to teach a lot of students that were into metal, like, I mean, sometimes like some serious, you know, math metal, death metal, I don't know. It was scary stuff, but, you know, and I'd have to like figure out these songs for them, and I was like always hearing like, oh wait, this stuff's using this blue note all the time because it's a harsh, if you play it over here too, you know that it's a very harsh sounding thing. So it's not like it's just for blues. And I find Jerry often would throw that in there when he wanted to kind of take things out. He'd just start hitting that flat 5, that blue note in there. That's also, the Simpsons theme. It's such a great theme, just 3 notes. Starts on a root, goes up, they call it tritone, the actual interval. You're going up to the flat 5, then to the 5, and resolves it. And it perfectly sums up the show, because it's about a dysfunctional family, and that's a very harsh, dissonant, dysfunctional sounding interval, Not just the note itself, but from the root to it. And then, because that gives you the context. And then they resolve it by going 1 fret up. And if you've ever seen The Simpsons, it's always like this chaos every episode, but at the end they always wrap it up and everybody's kind of on, like good terms. So with just 3 notes, perfect, they just say The Simpsons. So that, long explanation there, but just throw that in there. So it doesn't have to be like a blues thing, but just, sounds like Fur Elise. And but that will help you take it out further. And if you're playing this position, you just grab it right there. It's actually very easy for the pattern, because you just next string for this Dorian, adding this note in, and you've got there. And that's a way of just starting to pull things out a little bit. And let's look at now another way. I didn't pre-record an example for this, but a way of just mixing up your scale choice. If you're like, I'm still getting bored with notes, but hopefully this is plenty of ideas to just do stuff with one scale, one set of notes, and you can, hopefully this gets the wheels turning in your head, thinking of other things and ideas and stuff too, like maybe playing on, playing on one string, or something like that, But this is another one we can use the D major pentatonic scale. And if we do it, say, like right here, why would we do that and what does that do? Well, we can analyze each note. This gives you the D in relation to the E, gives you a flat 7, and this is the 5th, this is the 4th, which gives you, kind of pulls it out, gives you a sus sound. This is the 2, so it gives you like a sus 2 sound, and you're at the root. So it gives you this like sus 7, because overall we got kind of this E7, E dominant 7 kind of sound is another thing we have to mention. Is kind of like what's going on in this jam as well by playing that D. It's just classic kind of dead stuff. And you could also think of this as B minor, I think of it differently. I use this kind of technique a lot in jamming. I think Jerry would use this a lot, and I don't know exactly how he thought of it, but I think of it differently depending on the song. And for me, it makes sense to think of this as D major, even though it's the same as B minor. They're called relatives. Same exact thing. You just think of it different ways. But for me, it makes sense to think of it as D major because, well, there's that D in the chord. So if you just throw that in there, any old way, that you want to play it here, there. If you want to do it up here in this position, we've got, we'd just be jamming on with our E Dorian, and then you can just kind of, and see how that kind of gives you this cool different sound. It's a little more space between the notes because there's 5 notes instead of 7 notes if you're kind of playing up and down the whole scale, the whole mode of the Dorian one. And just a different little scale choice. So mess around with that, but remember to focus on the rhythm above all. And if you want to really, make sure you know the song parts too, go over that stuff and try doing some angular stuff. Add that flat 5 in there. Oh, don't forget the old bends, which is really just the concept of adding some contrast. So really think of your own examples, or listen to Jerry, listen to some recordings, and notice like, oh wait, he's doing some contrasting things to mix it up, and add that into your own playing, and try adding that D major pentatonic in there as well. And if you've got your guitar with you, I urge you to try out the link over here. Got the practice backing track. You can try this stuff out yourself. I guess I forgot to silence my phone. That's a good time to end it there. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video.